Valerie Creighton, President, CEO, Canada Media Fund.
2 reasons why you're attending FICCI Frames this year.
Well, I was invited, which is fantastic. It's my first time to India and first time to FICCI, and we came to have a look at what's going on in India, whether there'd be any relationship possibilities with Canada, and very much looking toward the co-production opportunities between India and Canada, especially since the two governments just signed a treaty last year.
Right. So essentially what you're saying is you're looking to fund content from India?
It would be funding content from India, but through a Canadian co-production mechanism. So if there's a project in television or digital media that might be suited for co-production with India, then we would finance the Canadian co-producer, but we would treat the Indian co-producer just as if they're a Canadian citizen for the purposes of the financing.
What about film production?
Film we don't do directly. Telefilm Canada is the film agency in Canada who finances feature film, and there have been some co-productions certainly, but if the feature film has a broadcast license, then we will also finance. So for example, Deepa Mehta shot Midnight's Children. It was a co-production, and we put money in because the CBC, our public broadcaster in Canada, financed it through the CMF.
Okay. What are you hoping to take back with you from FICCI Frames this year? It's the first time you're attending the conference.
It is, yes. Well, I came because I was supposed to be here last year and the scheduling didn't work out, but I wanted to look to see what was going on in the sessions, to meet relevant parties, potentially consider who might be a good partner with the Canada Media Fund to look at a matching fund. And I've had 2 or 3 meetings with producers. We have a very active producer from Canada here in Goa. And so we had some meetings set up through his contacts here in India to look at the possible co-productions in Canada.
So how soon do you think you might be able to, sort of forge a partnership with somebody to produce some kind of content?
The sky's the limit, and in our experience, we have matching funds now with New Zealand and Italy and Belgium and Sao Paulo in Brazil, and we're talking with Ireland at the moment. It can take anywhere from 3 months to 3 years, depending on finding the right partner, making sure you do it for the right reasons, not just to do it, and seeing what each country wants to work on specifically. Sometimes we do matching funds for development, sometimes production, so it really just depends what suits both countries. We're very open to the possibilities.
From your point of view, what kind of a media and entertainment market does India look like?
Huge. I mean, the potential here for the market is quite extraordinary. Of course, the success of Bollywood is known all over the world. That was the foundation, I think, for film, at least here in India. Our interest would be more in independent creators, both in television series or digital media in particular, direct for internet, the mobile, web. We also will finance that. So I think the potential here is quite vast. Of course, it always comes down to the story. It doesn't really matter what the platform is. If it's the right story and you have the right partners, then that's what usually makes the content successful.
What are the 2 things that you're looking for in a partner?
Well, for us, for the fund, we would be looking for something equivalent to the CMF, either, whether it's through a government organization or a private sector organization, that we could talk together over the next couple of years and say, here's what makes sense for the 2 countries. I think in terms of a co-production partner on the content side, that again, it just depends on who the Canadian is and what the story is about. We look for people who've got some experience, some credibility, can bring some money to the table, and we bring some money to the table. And it has to be a good match. It's like a marriage, right? If you hook up with the wrong partner, then you're in trouble for a very long time. So,
yeah. Is there any particular number in terms of the sum that you might sort of assign for the Indian market?
No, I mean, for matching funds, we've done very small ones. The one with Italy is quite small. It's 150,000 Canadian, and with New Zealand, it's $1 million. So it just depends on, again, what you want to achieve with the country. We try to take these projects through the matching funds and put a little spotlight on the activity. So it's not a volume thing. It's like, let's get 2 or 3 good, solid co-productions to develop out of this and then see where it goes.
Do you have a particular ticket size in mind?
No, I don't. No, as I said, I've just come to India, just starting to look. We haven't even really quite figured out who the right matching partner might be. So we'll see what happens.
Rate your FICCI Frames experience on a scale of 1 to 10.
Oh, I would say I'm overwhelmed by it, so that could be a 10, but it's a really interesting market, lots of good discussion. I was very impressed with the political speeches in the morning, but then that's all politics, right, too. We have the same thing in Canada. I would say probably an 8, maybe.